Niger. Okay, so there was this one time in my film studies class where, okay, so for reference here, we have Nikki. So she's the basic bitch from the crack hood town. And basically, she's always talking about how doing drugs with her friends was amazing. Only 16, by the way. And then, here, we have Emma, represented by famed actor Sub-Zero. Now, she's just like a kind of a Christian kind of girl, you know. Very, very clean upbringing, smart, you know, knows her stuff. So then she's here. Okay, they're sitting beside each other. Fuck. Now, I'm spectating this whole thing. This is me. Except pregnant with a few cheeseburgers, if you know what I'm saying. And then this is Emma's brother, Josiah. That's Matthew. Now, this is Adam. He's a kid in our class who's always falling asleep and talking about bronyism and how he's put like 3 days into Fallout 4. So that's him. And he's like dying over here being tired. And then here, we have the class supervisor, Don, who really looks like sort of a hedgehog man, but for dramatic sake, we're making him a tough Spartan. So, I'm sitting back here, I'm spectating, right? Everybody's in position. So Nikki, she comes back from a week away from school, you know, she's like work, stuff like that. So she's talking to Emma about it. And, you know, at first it's fine, you know, Emma's into it, she's like friendly conversation and stuff. But then Nikki, she keeps going on. Nikki keeps, and I pass out, and then I get back up. So Nikki, she keeps going on about her day and everything. Her week. About how she hasn't been at school. And she's like talking about, oh mom, I was gonna go to school, but it's too late now. Fuck work and stuff. I'm really depressed because of my job. I cry at work. Even though I work at fucking Walmart during the day. It is hell. Oh my god. And then Emma, she's just sitting here absorbing it all. At this point, it's been like 5 minutes of just straight Nikki repeating herself over and over about her horrible week. So then, she gets kind of disengaged. She sits, but she's still glancing over, right? But then she glances over at Matthew and Josiah, and she's giving them this look like, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be talking to these shits. But Nikki keeps going. Eventually she pulls out her phone and she's still talking. And then, the greatest thing happens. Our teacher, Josh, he walks in. He's a monolith of a man, like actually in real life. And somehow, Nikki does not notice this. So she proceeds to talk for about another 2 minutes, repeating herself, as I said, maybe a couple new slang terms and, you know, points of view to her story. But then, the greatest thing happens. Josh comes up to the front of the classroom. He gives her this fucking death stare, knocks on her desk, and says, let's get to work. And then Nikki shuts up, and she resumes looking at the screen. And at this point, I am just killing myself with laughter from the inside. And it is the most amazing thing I could ever see. Just straight up fucking justice for the basic bitch. Now this has been Storytime with Lehi, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you. Okay, so this is another film class story, alright? We got our substitute in here. She's kind of like a chubbier Tumblr chick. And since Cortana from Halo 4 is a little chunkier, we're gonna use her. And she's like on the computer setting up our film. Psycho, pretty good movie. And we got Don, Hedgehog Man, and he's like talking to her and stuff. And so me and Matt, we're here. This is Joey. He's kind of this blonde, long-haired kid. We're gonna use liquid for him today. We barely hear him speak. He's a pretty genuine guy, though. You know, he's pretty cool. So we're sitting back here. This is where the computers are. That's where the main computer is. So me and Matt, we're watching some Filthy Frank here, some illegal crawfish racing, and we're just watching. And then Matt, he's kind of bored by the subject because it's not really into the meat of the thing yet. So he turns around and starts talking to Joey, right? and they're like talking about shit, and then Matt's like, oh, so why isn't the teacher here today? And then Joey's like, oh yeah, I heard like he sat down on the bleachers in the gym, and he got like a huge ass splinter, and because the wood's getting old or something, and he has to go and get it surgically removed. And Matt's like, oh, that sounds horrible. He's like, yeah, it's pretty fucked. And then he turns around and he starts watching again, and he gets disinterested. He goes over here to see how things are going. Not too much is going on, so we're getting into the meat of the video now. The genetically modified crawfish, like the rats, and they're running around and shit and talking about Alpha Centaurion, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah! So I turn it up so they can hear, and then Joey, he's getting engaged in this whole illegal crawfish tournament. And the turning up of the volume catches the attention of Don, who he comes over and he thinks it's appropriate at the time, so he starts talking about they should like cook those crawfish and like butter them up with like garlic butter, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I keep watching. He's like, and my leg breaks and comes off, and I quickly leave the room to reattach it. So then just watching again, and then Don's like, yeah, that's like a pretty big cuisine down South Georgia, Arcadia, Cajun. In Africa,
Cajun,
in the southern states, so they like crawfish. They should butter them up with garlic. And I'm like, oh, is that like lobster there? And he's like, no, not really. It's just way more common. And I was like, oh, okay, I knew that, but I needed to fill this conversation. He's like, yeah, no problem, dude, no problem. So then he goes back over here. He's talking to teacher lady. She's still finding her way around the folders to put on Psycho. So then, the racing has concluded. It's gotten to the point where, Frank's won the money, and, it's all good. And then we get into the Alpha Centaurion bits where Drone is chasing him. He's like, I'm gonna fucking cut off your dick, dude. And then Don comes over and he's like, hey, watch the language. And you can tell he's kind of ready to get pissed off by the way he's standing, because he looks like a fucking chicken. And then the teacher's like, oh, I found it. And then he's like, oh, get in your desks, boys. We're gonna watch the film now. Because apparently Don was drunk that day. And that concludes story time with Lehi and Matthew and the figures. Thanks. So, there was this time that I attempted to go to the gym. And there was this guy. He was like liquid ripped. And I was like, maybe like this guy, but pregnant with a few cheeseburgers, you know what I'm saying? So I go in there. And I'm like, hey, Lamau, can I get any bro science to get me started? And then homie is like, yeah, you see steroids, they increase the heart blood flow, so you get better pumps. And I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm not sure that's how steroids work. He's like, fuck you, motherfucker. So then he swings at me, but then I swing at him, alright?
fuckity.
So he's down, and I say fuckity, because I'm like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna do it anyway. And then, so I run away, and I'm like, oh, fuck, nigga. And then it becomes a big sensation on YouTube, and this guy, he's like promoting his shitty little band. Or, well, I was trying to promote my shitty little band. Well, he was like already a success. And so people called him an asshole on YouTube, and he fell over. And that was the end.
Oh, delete. Oh yeah, who is Seth? Is he gonna have to be?
Did you already start recording?
No.
Okay.
Oh wait.